Welcome to another episode of The Lockdown, hosted by myself, Adam Cuthbertson, and brought to you by El Natural Skincare. You can check out El Natural Skincare at www.elnaturalskincare.uk or click on the link below. Today, I am very lucky to have on this episode of The Lockdown a ex-shirt pulling, elbowing, body checking, I'm going to add this in there, shin kicking, Premier League winning motherfucker, quote, who's won 3 Premier League titles at 2 different clubs and has played for more than over 300 Premier League games, being the most of any German international in the league. Welcome to the program, Robert Huth. How you doing, mate?
All good. That was a very nice intro. Nicely done.
Thank you, mate. I added the shin kick in there because I thought, as a defender, surely you've kicked some shins in your time.
Yeah, plenty of them, tell you that much. I know. No, it was funny coming up with that. Sometimes bios can be a bit boring, can't they? You know, like a bit inspiration and all that. So trying to see the funny side of things.
For those that don't realise, and I didn't just come up with that myself, that's your bio from your Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Well, most of it's just so, you know, live each day as if it's your last and all that sort of rubbish. So kind of keep it fresh and, you know, personalise and all that.
I like it. Hey, my bio is probably boring. Just probably like, I don't even know what my bio is. It's that boring.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Love it.
Mate, you've recently retired. How's things? How's retirement?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's obviously all new and just sort of figuring out what I want to do and all that stuff. But generally speaking, I enjoy it. I don't miss too much about it. I enjoy just doing my own thing now. Just by the end of it, I just hated the whole, you know, structure of life thing. So now I kind of like waking up and just see what I want to do. That's sort of my thing at the moment.
So like a free spirit.
Yeah, free spirit, maybe not as much just yet, but yeah, just sort of do what I want to do, you know, like you obviously, you know, yourself, when you're in training, you know, you get told what to do, where to be, what to eat, how to do this, how to do that, and I just got sick, and so now I'm just enjoying basically not being told what to do.
How old are you now? 35?
35, yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm 35, and so I'm staring down the end of my career at the minute, which is quite nerve-wracking, to be honest. You were happy to retire?
Yeah, I mean, I know plenty of cases that weren't happy to retire due to injury or, you know, just they got so attached to the game, but I was just not that guy to Ross.
Do you reckon that's like a bit of a blessing to like be able to say you retired on your own terms?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to do that. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to have retired, you know, like I said, through injury or also outside circumstances. But yeah, I mean, to do it by yourself, it's always something I want to do. You know, just go, that's done, me finished. And I think that's why I'm quite happy with how life's gone at the moment, apart from the virus, obviously.
Yeah. So
crazy.
if Leeds was knocking on the door back at like whenever the league starts again and they needed a defender at the back there, would you never not consider doing up the laces?
No. You know why as well? Because I think when you're out of the game for that sort of time, I think that's just passed me by. You know, like just to think like I could be in any shape or form be fit enough to play professional football, and that's crazy. I think it's just like now when I've not been back to many games, but when I watch it now, like I can't believe I even been on the same pitch as somebody, you know, just the speed, agility, and all that sort of stuff. It's like there's no way I'll be able to get that back. Yeah, intensity. Yeah, there's no way I'll get that back.
What about Leeds rugby? We called you up and thought, you know, we need a new goal
kicker. I'd make a good cup of tea, good coffee, so I could do that. But that's about it. I can't believe you're still playing. With all due respect at your age, you know, just the impact and all that. It's just, I mean, when I first came to England, I always sort of enjoyed watching rugby, and it was a bit of a different game back. You know, even so, I came, you know, 20 years ago now. You know, it was sort of played by, you know, people that weren't particularly in shape. But over the last 15 years, I mean, just crazy. They're all like 6'4". Oh, it's crazy. It's like, especially, like watching England and the World Cups and stuff. They're all 6'4", 100 kilos. There's not an ounce of fat on them, and they're going at some speed. The rugby guys now are, they're turning into like the one elite 1% athletes in the world. In terms of physical capabilities.
Do you, as a footballer, do you guys talk about other sports much? And like when I talk about other sports, I mean like rugby league, rugby union. Are you guys fans of it?
Some are, yeah. I mean, some that I played with, that went through the English school system, so they would have been brought up with rugby and football. So most of them are quite knowledgeable about other sports, but because in Germany no one plays rugby.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't know if you've seen me play football, but I pretty much played like a rugby player. So it was a quite an easy transition for me to enjoy watching rugby.
Funnily enough, I was actually pissing myself laughing last night because I was on your Twitter and you actually retweeted it, so I thought it was quite a good laugh. But you put up, I think you were having like a shot at goal from a free kick.
Yeah.
And you skied it into the back row, and you just laughed straight away, didn't you?
Yeah. You can't take yourself too seriously, because if you think about it, it's just sport, isn't it? That's all it is. Like it's just entertainment. Like I hate people that take themselves too serious. It's just sport, isn't it? Everyone is allowed to make a mistake every so often.
Yeah.
So.
Right. That's right. You when you were playing for Middlesbrough, you're saying you lived in Harrogate. Did you ever get out to many of the Rhinos games or anything like that around Leeds?
No. I've been to a couple of Twickenham, Rugby Sevens. I went to a couple of times in Twickenham.
Right.
But I've not watched. I watched rugby league on TV, but I've not watched it live. So when it all kicks back up, I'm gonna have to come and watch you play. Yeah,
nice. Not many people would know this watching at home, but we actually go to university together, don't we? So now you're going to have to take. Well, I know I'm in there with Gil Dudson, who plays for Salford. So you got to make a choice, mate. It's either Salford or Leeds, mate. Come on.
Well, Salford's a bit closer, isn't it? I guess so.
Come on, mate.
I don't know.
Close. Your heart's in Harrogate. You've already told me that. You love it.
Well, true. Yeah. Well, Leeds it is. Then Leeds it is.
Nice. I didn't put too much pressure on you then at all, did I?
No, you just scared me, so I'm coming with you.
Hey, you obviously reside in England now. You have for a number of years, but you're from Germany originally. How's everything? I know obviously we're in this 21-day lockdown at the minute, and how are you coping with it here? And do you have much family still in Germany? I know you're from Berlin, didn't you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so I looked up. Yeah.
I mean, Germany, I'm guessing at the moment is ahead of the UK in terms of lockdowns and all that sort of stuff. So my mum's been in lockdown probably 14 days, not 2 weeks, and they're just taking it a bit earlier than over here. But I mean, they shut the schools earlier, supermarkets had stricter rules, jobs got shut down quicker, typical German style, took a quick measures straight away. But I mean, everyone's safe. My mum's still in Berlin. But obviously, she's 65 now, so she's right on the edge of sort of being a bit more vulnerable to it.
On the high risk factor.
Yeah. But I mean, she's just at home chilling. At that age, she doesn't want to do too much anyway. So every day.
How you doing? How you doing with it being cooped up in the house at the minute?
Yeah, it's I mean, I've got 2 boys, so the weather's been alright. We've got a garden, so we're coping fine. But it's just strange because you just can't see it, can you? So sort of that invisible sort of thing that everyone talks about.
You're just trusting in the government's word, aren't you?
I mean, governments have got it wrong in the past as well, haven't they? So it's one of them, isn't it? Do you trust everything they say, or? Well, yeah,
I think we've got it wrong and right, sort of at the same. Like you're saying, Germany shut down 14 days ago. We potentially could have been doing that, and I mean they're getting it right now, but you'll just never know what could have been if we did what Germany have done.
Yeah, no, exactly. It is. It always felt inevitable, didn't it? each time the Prime Minister did the whole chat, it'd be like, we might take some more drastic measures, and it just sort of, kept going for about 4 or 5 days. Every day's got more and more drastic till the other day. It sort of got a bit more nailed down. But it's weird. The kids love being at home. I think love not having school and just messing about. But yeah, I mean, if they cancel the school for another couple of weeks or months after that, then it's gonna be interesting.
You'll be pulling your hair out.
Oh,
you'll be looking a little bit more like me, and fading up the side here.
Oh God, yeah. But yeah.
Did you guys do like a panic shop or anything like
that? No. Supermarkets are still open, so the centres, if we ever run out of anything, then we just run out and get it next day or the day after. It's not big issue. We got running water. That's it. We can all go.
I must have been the only one to do a panic shop that I've interviewed so far. I went out and bought like at least 2 weeks, 3 weeks worth of food and ate it all on the first night.
Yeah. Well, that's another one, isn't it? If you got it in, you eat, don't you?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I probably got overbought a bit on like chocolate and sweets and all that stuff. Which is
I must have bought a month's worth of Halo top.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? Have you got like training plans and all that to follow now, or at the moment, or?
Are you calling me out on my training? Nah. We sort of do, but like, so it's like, it's just a trusting at the minute because we can't train together or anything like that, and it's very limited to what we can actually do, isn't it? So, basically, I've been going on road runs and following some instructions that our trainer's given us that we can do down the park ourselves. But it's just such an awkward time. Like, I go for a road run and you see someone coming the opposite way and you just like...
I know, they're just like, swerve you, don't you? Like, oh, God, I know.
Do I hold my breath? Do I run the other way? What do you do? Like,
just don't cough. Just don't cough.
Yeah.
Just...
Oh, mate, I actually went to do a grocery shop this morning. It was proper awkward. I dressed up, I actually put my got a spare shirt out and put it over my face to go in, put my hood up. I went in the supermarket, lined up. How weird's that? Lined up to go in the supermarket.
I know.
Got told to stay 2 meters away from everyone. Got in. No one gives a shit. Everyone's just doing their own thing. Yeah, we'll just.
And what is 2 meters anyway? I don't know what 2 meters is. I know it's a good guess, isn't it? But everyone goes 2 meters. But what is 2 meters?
2 big strides.
Yeah, 2 big. Yeah, I know.
But no one. Once you get in the supermarket, no one cares. Everyone's out for their own good. And like you say, if you hear a cough, you're like,
I know. Everything stands still, doesn't it? Who was it? Get him out.
Like someone's dropped the grenade. You're like, panic. You're like,
I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
We're all fighting over the same stupid shit, which, I suppose I haven't gone out and overbought anything, but I can't believe all these people out there just buying tons of toilet paper and cans and all that,
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
We're going to have like another epidemic when this is all done. Everyone's going to have like diabetes or be obese because they're eating all tin goods and packet foods, and like me, Halo top, and like you, chocolates.
Yeah, chocolate, yeah. Cadbury's, fruit and that. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know. Quite, you can't see it then, can you? That's the issue, I think. There's just no. There's no one telling you it's going to be 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. It's just uncertainty, isn't it? That's the problem.
Well, just before I jumped on the phone, on the video call, I came out of the lounge room and they were saying it looks like it could be a month and a bit still yet to go. Because I looked into Australia, and Australia is starting to decline in the amount of people getting ill. Because I suppose it's because Australia's so spread out. No one lives in each other's back pockets. It's like such a country, whereas here we all sort of all squish into like a town or a city, and and then the countrysides are obviously quite vast and spread out, but we all sort of live around a city or a suburb, don't we, with these semi-detached style properties and that. So it's crazy.
I know. Yeah, it's definitely going to be months, isn't it? I think prepare for months rather than weeks. But
hey, what was it? Can you just tell me a little bit about growing up in Berlin? Because I read you grew up in the east side of Berlin. I'm not sure where that is, but I have been to Berlin, and
Oh,
I'd
got a
only
little
been
bit.
to Germany once. Is that the pub?
Well, no, he looks like one, but he's actually
Yeah.
4 years old. He just looks an absolute weirdo. Yeah, I mean, you've been to Berlin, you say, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, so I grew up East Berlin, which obviously, back in the day was heard about the war, haven't you?
Yeah.
So
No,
when we moved out,
I've visited it. I just don't know much about the sort of like what it would have been like when
yeah.
you grew up.
So East Berlin is probably the rougher part, the one that no one really looked after. Sort of kind of segregated from the rest of Berlin and Germany, really.
Yeah.
But I grew up when the war was already down, so things starting to improve. But it's still very
Yeah.
much a big divide now in terms of East and West. Like you probably haven't, you would have known if you went to East Berlin because it's still quite rough.
Yeah.
Um, Sort of even just the street lighting, the roads, it's quite sort of clear cut where East and West is. But yeah, I mean, I had nothing to sort of wish for when I was younger. Like when you're young, you just don't really care, do you? You could go
Oh,
up
mate, it's your
anywhere.
environment. Yeah.
Was
Well,
that?
I only bring it up. Because I being from Australia and growing up in Australia, I thought, I suppose I just had this like visual of what Germany would be like and what the people would be like, and I thought it was like they were quite tough and I suppose staunch in a sense. And I flew into Berlin, I kid you not, and I just was amazed. Like when I got into the town centre of Berlin, and I spent three nights there, and I think I went out every single night. It was like the people were brilliant, the
Yeah.
nightlife was brilliant. They're so artistic. They just got a really brilliant way of life. I couldn't believe it, to be fair. And I was a bit disappointed in myself for making an assumption, based off maybe movies and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Growing up as a kid, but I couldn't believe how great a city it is, mate.
Yeah, they're turning around, obviously, with the history they have and stuff. They sort of had to sort of build on the history. Like,
Yeah,
even so, when I left, everyone was sort of still ashamed of what happened in the war and how it
yeah,
was all handled and all that stuff. So, but sort of the years after I left, I really sort of got hold of it and went, actually, you know what? We're different 2 generations after, so
yeah,
it's not something that we're proud of, but we're gonna have to share it with everyone that comes to Berlin because it's, it is what it is, So they started doing all the war museums. Checkpoint Charlie has all been redone. Sort of not proud of what happened, but not
yeah,
ashamed either of showing what did happen. And I think that sort of shows in the people, they're very open in terms of, yeah, this is cool, this is how we do. Um, whether prior to that, it was very hush hush. No one really talked about it. I
yeah.
didn't get told about it in school and all that sort of stuff. So,
Oh, really? To that
yeah,
point?
so that's, yeah. So,
That's great.
yeah, it's crazy, but obviously, yeah. So when I left 2000, sort of, it's starting to sort of get better. And everyone that goes to Berlin now says sort of similar things that you said. It's really
Yeah.
creative. Certainly, a lot more than when I was there. That's for sure.
I think my favourite part about it is I just love beer.
Yeah,
so, so to be able to
yeah,
like go to like a like little sort of grocers such supermarket and go get a few beers and
yeah,
just sit out the front and have a drink
yeah.
and chat with the locals and that. And I just thought it was outstanding. Probably
Yeah, they love it.
one of the coolest nights I ever spent in Berlin or in my life. To be fair, was this one night me and my mate went out and we. My mate will probably think this story is going somewhere else, but it's not if he's listening. But we went out and we just sort of chased sort of those sort of little spots around town, and
Yeah,
then we ended up trying to call it a night at about. I say trying to call it a night. We're going to call it a night about 2 a.m. and we're walking along, and there was this like huge like shop front with all art through it and that.
mm,
We thought, and there was just music blaring out. I'm thinking, what is this at 2 a.m. in the morning? And I love
yeah,
art, so it just drew me straight in. Went
yeah,
in there, it was like a nightclub / art museum thingy with like a staircase down to like this random big sort of warehousey room that was just pitch black with just house just blaring through it, and everyone was
yeah,
just drinking bottled beer. I
yeah.
thought it was the best night ever of my life. I thought, how
Yeah.
free spirited is this city? And
I know. And if you like techno and house and all that, like Berlin is pretty awesome. Like, they got some good underground, like the big warehouse techno rave things going on.
Yeah.
But
Well,
just coming back.
I won't talk about the other nights.
Yeah.
I've seen that side of it as well.
But the beer thing is funny because like Germany is very regional with beer. So if you live in Germany, you never have a beer that's not German.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't, like when you go to pub beer now, you got Carlsberg, Stella, Peroni. Like I don't know if you noticed, but you go to a bar in Berlin and you just get the local beer. Like there's no outside beer coming in. It's just like, nope.
Yeah.
You just drink the local stuff.
What would be your favorite back home?
I love a good wheat beer.
Wheat beer.
Yeah, like the cloudy stuff, the really, really sort of heavy and quite a bit stronger than a normal lager. So I'm not a big lager man, but the wheat beer is pretty sensational.
I tend to drink a bit of lager, mate.
But
I think that's just more Australian thing. Like we sort of drink more of a crisp, sort of fresher because it's so hot all year round.
Yeah.
But I must say, like, I can't remember too many of the beers I was drinking in Berlin now because it was a few years back. But I was trying.
Not because you were drunk.
Well.
Yeah, blame it on the years back, not because you had 50 of them.
No, it was because of the few years back and I have a few knocks on the head in between that time.
Right.
Actually, I had a good knock on the head when I was in Berlin. I jumped out of a taxi on the way home one night and fell out of it and fell on my face.
Wow. How many have you had by then?
Can't remember, mate. That's how many. But, mate, unreal country. So, yeah. Hey, move on to your career. You started out at in your Premier League career. You started out at Chelsea and ended up going on to win 2 titles with them. How was your time there, and what's your sort of best memories you could take from that?
Well, it was weird because when I first went, Chelsea wasn't Chelsea at the time. Because when I got there, 2000, they were on the brink of financial ruin. They just about qualified for the Champions League just to keep sort of money coming in. So it wasn't the club that you know now. Ken Bates, obviously, he sold the club. Was it 2002, 2003? And then it really starts off kicking off, in terms of people coming in, building new training ground and all that stuff. But when I grew up for the German system, you never get to hang out with first team players,
right?
At football clubs, you had to sort of first team training, sort of, on a different building, different pitches, different setup. And then when I came to Chelsea, it's like, I was just walking around at the training ground with all the players I used to see on TV. It was pop up the reel. And back in the day, I used to still have to clean the boots and clean the change room. So you probably did all that stuff as well. You're smiling, so you probably had to do that as well.
How old were you around then?
16. I literally came on 2 days after my 16th birthday. Because the rule said you had to wait. So I obviously went there and then saw Zola, Desai, all these sort of world famous footballers that I watched, from World Cups and Euros and Champions League. And then literally from one day to the next, I was there cleaning their boots, sort of watching them train, sharing the same gym together. And that was at the age of 16. I was like, wow.
Pretty simple, that.
Yeah, and like I always thrived on being hardworking, and even through my youth, I thought I was, and then I saw these guys. It's like, wow, they're proper work. Sort of getting the skill right, the physical aspect, and all that. So that was a proper eye opener to sort of thinking I was really good. I'm going to have a career to go, and actually I'm miles of it. And it helped me that was, because I lived with sort of a foster family. And then literally Chelsea flew me over, and when I say dumped me at the family, they just dropped me off, and what I see them all the obviously my English wasn't very good. So I was just sort of random kid in the family for 2 years I was there. The family was absolutely awesome. I got to love him, and we're still in contact now. But looking back now, strange. Literally, I rocked up with my bags, my boots, and I said tomorrow, Rob, I'll pick you up at 8:30, and that was it. And that was a good thing. I had to get on with it. There's no sort of family backup or someone that can help me make excuses. It was just all of me. Which looking back, that was probably one of the main reasons I sort of got through it. Yeah.
It's probably scary from in hindsight, because you think about one of your boys potentially having the opportunity and just going to a country abroad and suddenly being dumped with a family to find some success somehow.
Yeah, I think because when you're young, you just don't think, do you?
Nah.
I think that was the, if I had to make the decision at 20, I would have probably said, "Oh, no, I'm all right, thanks." But because at 16, this is brilliant. Yeah, why not? What can possibly go wrong, But yeah, like I said, if one of my boys did it now, we're like, "Well, I'm coming with you then," because you sort of, I don't know actually. I'm not sure I would, but certainly not in the easy stuff. Be a tough decision, but it worked with me. Put it this way, but there'd be 1,000 other kids that probably wouldn't have worked.
Do you think being thrown into that environment at such a young age helped you come through the system quite quickly and grow up quickly?
Yeah, because you had to man up. I was a boy amongst men, and there was no sort of sweet talk or it's going to be okay, Rob. It'd be like, no, you need to do this, that, and that, and to get better. There was no, or very little sort of sympathy. You were playing with. All of a sudden, I went from playing for fun, with my mates, to this is going to become a job. And when you probably, when you started off, you started playing with the first team. It probably means something to them, doesn't it? It's not just something that they do; it's their life. It's everything they put in, and then sort of that changed it completely. Because although when I was 16, training was always fun, and you looked forward to the game. It was all well and good, but you never had any competition. But when you then go with the first environment, it's the starting 11, or the starting 13 for you guys, or 15. It's up for grabs, isn't it? And sort of from it all being really friendly, it started going right. Get your elbows out, and all that sort of stuff. Which I loved it. To be fair, there was not one bit of me that didn't enjoy it, but it was a real eye opener.
When you spent that time with Chelsea during that period, was there any specific player or team manager that sort of helped you and have a big impact on you and your career at that point in time?
I'd probably say Marcel Desailly, because I loved watching him play when I grew up, and he's obviously World Cup winning centre back for France. Yeah. And I remember just watching the '98 World Cup for France, and obviously we watched him previous when he was at AC Milan. It was just in awe of him anyway. And then when I all of a sudden played in the same club as him, and because he was sort of, he's peaked as in he's won the World Cup, he won the Europe, and it's sort of, I think he was very relaxed and he wasn't threatened by competition. So he was always very friendly with, he treated me as a, gave me advice, taught me when I was shit, taught me when I was good. But really sort of, he didn't take me under his wing, but just sort of guided me every so often with the right comment in the right direction.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know if he would have been like that when he was at his peak, 28. When you know what it's like sometimes.
Yeah, you see from a different point of view when you get older, don't you?
That's it, yeah. And not everyone and everything is a threat. And I think that's what he's done so much in the game. He's played so many games, so he thought might as well give my expertise to someone that's up and coming. Yeah.
You speak quite highly about some of the managers that you've played under throughout your career in class. Is there anyone in particular that had a big impact on you throughout your career in general?
Possibly, obviously, Claudio Ranieri was my sort of. He gave me my first team debut when I was 17. Yeah. And he took me along with the first team to pre-season. he let me train with the first team pretty much from Monday to Friday, and then either I would make the match day squad, or I would play with the reserve team. I was always exposed to sort of the first team aspect of the game, and then sometimes I'll play lower down again just to keep me grounded and all that stuff. He obviously took a massive gamble in a 17-year-old at the time, so probably him for just giving me the chance anyway. And then obviously once he went, we had Mourinho coming in, and he was just a different animal of professional, and something I've never seen before. Like, just, I mean, I don't know, but has training changed for you guys over the last sort of 10 years? And sort of,
yeah, it's sort of evolved. In the sense where it's when I first came through, it was sort of, I suppose it's just more structured these days. Whereas once upon a time, it was sort of we're always putting things together on the run, sort of thing. Especially locations of where we trained. Now every club I tend to play at, it's got facilities. So I suppose it's just a lot more professional.
Yeah. Because
I mean, as a coach, I've probably had a variety of different coaches, which may or may not be different to. I call them coaches, so rugby league call them coaches, managers. But yeah, they've all had their strengths. I suppose in terms of the best ones I've had have always been good managers of people.
Yeah, no, same. And because when we had Ranieri the first time when I had it, training was very sort of long runs. Not a lot to do with actual playing football. Like we'd run pretty much every day through the week. 1,000 meters, 2,000 meters, 200-meter sprints. Sort of. But back in the day, it was sort of looked at as being very Italian. And then when Mourinho came in, it just completely changed. We never run once. Everything, the whole fitness work was done through playing football. We do a couple of extra runs as in the sort of training setup, but we never had trainers on or went for like just an hour and a half run. It was so professional. Everything was planned. Everything, as assistants, as coaches, they were on the same page, and there was just no time was wasted. You never felt that when on the training pitch you're going, that's a bit crap. Like, why are we doing this? Everything just made sense, and everything was so monthly planned, game by game, who was going to play and how they would play. That's how we would train. And and that was also, I was 18. I probably had the best manager at 18, 19, 20, 21. So everything after that was like, if they didn't live up to sort of his expectations, it's a bit like, so frustrating, because I've seen what great looks like. So sometimes other managers, you will see it along your way, just cutting corners, not doing the extra bit, happy with where they were, and he just wasn't. He's challenging you every day, every session even.
With that Chelsea team, you had obviously a brilliant manager, full of superstars, and that you come around, you end up finding yourself at Leicester City, in a team which I think we sort of discussed in class, not directly, but it was a really well managed team in the sense where you put a lot of you got a lot of good buyers or juniors come up through the ranks, and that's what really where you guys found your success throughout that year.
Yeah, I mean, when I went to Leicester, there obviously Nigel Pearson was in charge, and he put big emphasis of getting the right guys in, and you probably heard it 1,000 times in change rooms, but you'd rather have a better personality next to you than a better player.
Yeah.
Unless you have both, obviously, then that'd be but he just, whenever he signed someone, he sort of took the personality as much as talent with it. And by the end of it, he had a pretty good setup in terms of having great players with the great attitudes. And that's sort of run through the club. There was no, how do I say it, no dickheads. No egos in the sense of ego, but no bad egos. Like you see, I'm sure you've seen a few through your career. Just good guys, just hardworking with talent, and steel. But nevertheless, obviously, no one could have predicted with how it all went. But happy days.
Do you reckon that was the big key to success, that team spirit you had and that bond? Because, like you said, you're 500 to 1 that year to actually win anything, and to come out and win quite convincingly in the end was like, yeah.
That's sport, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's sport throughout, isn't it? That's why we watch sport, isn't it? It's just the sport does it, isn't it? Like everyone lives for greatness, doesn't it? And like greatness, or like not greatness, just like excitable stuff, isn't it? For some, it might be just winning one game or finishing 8th, But
everyone's got purpose, don't they?
Exactly.
Sort of
yeah, and well, to be honest, we smashed it for 18 months. We proper smashed the ball out of the park every time we got on the pitch. So that season, actually, as much as it was a surprise in terms of the odds, but at the back end of 2014-15, if you take the last 10 games, we were first with the points we got. So those 18 months time season, we were the best team. As simple as that, and that wasn't just a one season, because over 18 months we were miles ahead of the second place. Arsenal finished 10 points behind us. So it's not like, and that's a big gap. I mean, it's not as big as obviously Liverpool now, but that's a big gap to win a league.
That's crazy. I'm curious. You've won 3 Premier League titles now. What do footballers do for their end of year piss up? We call them Mad Mondays.
I heard about them. That sounds amazing. I'm gonna have to come with you one day.
Let loose. And I've always wondered, because you're in the public eye so much, footballers, and excuse me if this is wrong, but you guys earn a lot of money. How do you guys go about it, and do you guys have anything, or do you just sort of finish the years,
at Leicester, obviously we had, we still have the Thai owners, and he was keen on sort of getting the group together. So at Leicester, he took us the 4 years or 3.5 years I was there. He took us away every end of the season. He took us to Thailand for a week, south of France. And like I said, it's just he loved it. Like, just some guys love it, and he just loved seeing the lads having a good time. So, we end up just, like I said, I don't know what Mad Monday is like, but we had like 4 or 5 days getting pissed, just regardless of where just absolutely carnage. And but more importantly, I don't know, I mean, Mad Monday sounds a bit like Christmas night out for footballers, because that's what sort of right in the middle of the season. That's what the lads sort of look for. When it's the Christmas night out, it's like, what? And then obviously it's funny because some managers just don't like it, so you always have to end up some negotiation, and if you get this many points, you have 2 days off, and so on. So it's always funny, but we have always had some good ones. Copenhagen was good. Did a couple of days there. Fancy dress on a Sunday. And then the Monday morning back in training was a bit, bit rough, but it's all good.
Well, I think the celebrations after 2016 win sound a little bit better than what we get up to. We just drink together 3 days straight in a location, maybe some pubs. Actually, we went to Ireland a couple of years back, up to Dublin for a few days, which was good. But they usually just end up doing what we call the Otley Run. Have you heard of that? You lived in Harris. Basically, where all the students go down Otley Road from pub to pub. So it's probably not as glamorous as jetting out to Thailand or whatever, but we'll take it.
I know, but I tell you what, you can't beat a good pub crawl, can you?
Nah, pub crawls are the best.
Yeah. What's the rules for you, though? Is it a pint of pub, or what is it?
We usually do a pint of pub, and then if you turn up late, you got to do a mucky pint, which is like just a pint full of everything, really. So you don't want to be turning up late. There's not too many rules, to be fair. Actually, one of the best I've ever been a part of, Mad Mondays, was, and it was probably one of the worst sort of years we had as a team, but it was like a turning point for our team because we sort of came good back into the season. Then we really bought into it like a Mad Monday together. And we all ended up at this fella's house by the name of Jamie Jones Buchanan, who's got quite a big yard and that. And we sort of did a dress up theme, and we just all stuck in for the day until pretty much his missus kicked us out. So day and night, should I say? Maybe it was 2 days. Anyway, but we've got a few rules. We generally have the mucky pint. If you're there late, we then have nudie runs, or something to do with getting nude if you don't score a try in that year, which might be hard to actually quantify in football because not everyone plays up front and gets to score goals, do they? And then obviously we just dress up crazy and go for it. So, but last year was particularly good because because we had a big backyard with we set up like an obstacle course, and it just turned into mayhem. People going through the koi ponds, everything was brilliant. But shame I didn't know you back then. I would have taken a run.
Yeah, mucky pine for Rob.
Hey, I hear you're into your racing cars. What's that all about?
I just like fast cars. I mean, I've never had a racing car, but I just like fast cars. I like Formula One. I race cars.
Like, do you actually race?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No.
You're just like attending?
No, I mean, no, I would love to, but it's just, that's an expensive one, isn't it? Imagine crashing your car. No,
Plus,
it's just like fast cars.
I got tipped off about that last night, actually. I was thinking, I swear Rob's a bit too tall to get in a car.
Yeah, well, that's another one, yeah. Yeah, no, I just love it. I love fast cars. Who doesn't like fast cars?
Yeah, true. What I know, I feel like you're someone that was on the pitch who was had a bit of a no nonsense sort of attitude, especially around dressing sheds and that. Was there any like particular pet hate you had maybe throughout the dressing rooms, or any like I suppose anything rituals that you had before games, or things like for me, if I was playing football and I was in your position, I'd probably hate when players dive or egos get a bit too far ahead of themselves and they dress up with their hair crazy and stuff like that. Did you have any pet like hates like that throughout?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're obviously playing the complete opposite that sport to what we do. You know, like you play pretending not to be heard, and then we play football pretending to be heard, isn't it? It's like one of them. It's like, yeah. I mean, diving just still drives me nuts. It just goes anything against what I've been growing up with, or just being a man. You know, like, why would you pretend to be heard? Don't get it. Like people just laugh. Like even now, like whenever I went, like even my mates now, like say they watched the game on TV and someone like tackled me and I stayed down for like 10 seconds. They go, "You pussy!" Get my phone and they get like 20 messages, just pure abuse of my mates going, "What are you? What are you, bird? You softy?" and all this sort of stuff. You know, that's sort of that's what I like. That's what sports are about. I think sports about being tougher than the opposition. Tougher and smarter, and diving is just does madden. Yeah, and we used to have a few lads just doing their hair before game. What's that all about? Like, you know, you've done your warm up, you come in, you change your kit, you put your kit on, your boots, shin pads, and then I'm seeing people in the mirror. Yeah. Oh, that's
we have a fella like that in our team. He's a little halfback by the name of Luke Dale. Does his hair before every game.
He does his hair. Does he not get whipped to shit by you lads?
He'll probably kill me for saying that.
Good. I look out for him. Has he got good hair?
He's got good. Was there anyone particularly call out? I mean, I've just called my own team out, so I'm going to be in trouble now. But anyone particular, or you don't want to throw?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, he probably quite happy to hear that, but Riyad Mahrez is just. You know, you get that thick paste of hell just like slimed it all on. It's like, what are you doing? I don't know if he still does it now, but even like, 2 minutes before we go out, I'm like, just get ready. Like I always, like I said, prepare for games. Go to bed at the right time. It's really sort of structured. And then anyone who is not like me, I'm like, how can you get ready for a game like that?
You just want to strangle.
Yeah. Just like shake him. Wake up. It's game time, baby. Not hair time. But yeah, like when I see him play now, I'm pretty sure he still gets his hair done literally the second he walks out. So crazy.
Did you have any weird sort of like ritual yourself, or like? Because I've got a running list of things I sort of got to do, and it's nothing as crazy as like doing my hair or anything like that. But like, I mean, some things I eat. One year I couldn't take a pack of ketchup out of my bag the whole year because I thought if I did it might jinx us. So, do you have anything like that?
I like food. I just used to eat the same time, same meal, and the day before the day on game day as well. Wake up the same time, do the same stuff. Probably similar to what you did. And I used to cook as well on the Fridays. That was my thing. So I used to cook my meals.
One night a week.
No, I'm actually not too bad. But Friday was a must. So chicken, veg, and rice with green pesto. That was my thing for about 15 years.
What's your best dish? What are you good at? Anything traditional?
I can cook pretty much anything, but I'm not a big sort of. I quite like bland food.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a big sort of.
I do. I'm quite boring with my food. I like like sort of dry, everything dry. I don't know why.
Yeah. Chicken, fish, rice. Yeah, veg. And I'm happy with that. Not a big sort of stroganoff sort of guy or whatever, but
yeah, I thought you were going to come up with something like class, like I don't know, something really.
I could do, but my kids just love bland food as well, so it's like bland food. But actually,
they make it quite easy for you then.
Yeah.
Who do you reckon the best? Who, if you could pick one player that you've played alongside your career, that you just had those moments where you sat back and just went, "How's he done that again?" Who would you say the best player has been?
That's tough. But not too many. But I mean, when you say, "Oh, I can't believe he's done that," you always think of the good stuff, don't you? But like, because I'm a defender, it's like it's different because sometimes you're doing something and things don't happen because of it. If that makes sense, like a defender, something. If he gets in a position quickly, then nothing will happen from it. That sort of stuff. Pretty much anyone who's a footballer now, so skillful, so fast, so powerful. Just, yeah. I wouldn't say it's too many, but I wouldn't do them any justice by just calling a couple out because everyone at one point did something amazing, I reckon.
Yeah, especially in some of the teams you played for.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the main one is like Drogba was a bit of a monster, Mahrez obviously with his skills and all that stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I know through that year you won at Leicester, Vardy got a lot of talk and a lot of hype around how well he did that season.
Yeah.
Scored a lot of goals basically, and was obviously playing brilliant. In those sort of situations, like when we play rugby league, what the players tend to do is we hold a lot of respect for those players in the team that are really good at defence and make defensive efforts. You look at a season like that. Is it the same in football in the sense where, although someone like Vardy's scoring all those goals, the players tend to applaud defenders that stop a lot of the goals from going through or protect the goal?
Yeah, that's pretty similar. Yeah, sort of the unsung heroes, isn't it? The sort of the dirty workers. Football is different because you could score 2 goals a game but have a shit game.
Yeah.
But then you'd have a good game if that makes sense, even though you haven't contributed to the team. Do you know what I mean? But you just scored the 2 goals. And yet you get all the plaudits.
It's funny. I went to about 4 games when I first got here, and I didn't see a goal scored in 4 games. I couldn't believe it.
Love
They
it.
turned up from Australia thinking this is going to be class. The atmosphere was brilliant, like everything. No bloody goal scored.
0-0. Have you been to games since though? When they scored? Or
yeah, I have actually since. I've been. I go to Leeds United games when I can.
yeah.
I'll be honest. I've stopped going to games because every time I go to them, they lose. So
yeah.
I thought I can't keep turning up and doing it to the lads. So
bad luck.
They've had a brilliant year, so I'm not going to start going when they start back up.
Yeah.
Hey, on that, do you know too much about what's going on potentially in the near future? Have you heard anything along the grapevine? I read the other day you don't like watching anymore. You don't really care. You're just happy.
What do now? Now it's cancelled. I can't get off the TV because like no one knows. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, at one point they're going to have to cancel it, don't they? I mean, you can't just postpone it because you can't just catch up with the games, can you?
No.
Like Ian, you just maybe you just have a year where you don't have any sport. If it keeps going with it as it is.
Yeah.
It's at one point where you have to stop it at one point, doesn't it? Logistics, it just can't get my head around it because the guys now they've been off. I mean, they said they're going to start again in April and stuff, but it's clearly not because the government is still on shutdown.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen. So all the lads, all the clubs, the professional clubs, they need a whole pre-season again. There's a whole 6-7 week job again to get fit, and then to catch up. I don't know. Fascinating because everyone thinks they got the answer, but no one actually knows what's going to happen, isn't it? It's like
that's right. There's a lot of talk and a lot of speculating, isn't there?
That's it. And if the government says, right, nothing's happening for the next 3 months, then that's that done, isn't it? Really.
If you were given the decision tomorrow and they had to finish the league, and not play on, see it out, would you give Leeds a promotion and Liverpool the
No.
title?
You can't give what you haven't won or lost either. That doesn't sit well, does it? Because imagine, because Liverpool were winning the league last year, weren't they? Yeah. Around the same time. Obviously not as many points. And everyone's thinking, Liverpool got it. And then City won 15 straight games. Yeah. It's crazy. They won the league by 1 point. That's why sports are unpredictable. You can't do it. And imagine all the other clubs going, well, that's not true. You can't give something or even relegation. I think if it is stopped, I mean, it's just horrific, isn't it? Imagine being in any position of the league and they go, no, cancelled. This one doesn't count. It's mad.
It's just mind-boggling to think that all that hard work, and you and me sit in the same class now and know what goes behind all these clubs and organisations to actually compete in these leagues or aim for promotion. It's actually mind-boggling to think that could potentially happen, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the sporting career is so short. And imagine you playing for Leeds now and you're like a 24, 25-year-old, proper smashing it in the championship, this close to being promoted. Actually not. It's the margin in sport are so small, anyway. And you might not ever get that chance again. That's the real reality, isn't it? Or winning the league for Liverpool, it's nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is going to guarantee, we win the league next year or we're going to get promoted. It's like sport. You've got to take the chances as and when they come. There's no tomorrow. But when you miss these chances, or even given it's a global sort of virus, that's just be horrific. Yeah, absolutely devastating.
Did you have when you're growing up? Did you have a specific English football team that you'd support or wanted to play for one day or aspire to play for? Or was it just
No, I did judo in my early years till 13, 14. Yeah, football wasn't sort of.
You did judo?
Yeah, judo was my first sport for the first. Yeah, till about 13, 14. So I always played a bit of football, but nothing, not in a club or not till later on.
What happened? What happened to the judo career?
Well, I might. Yeah, it's still muscle memory. It's somewhere there, somewhere in the back of my head. Still got
You
it.
keep, you keep that
Yeah, no, I
option
just yeah. I mean, I love sport. I like competition. I love wrestling. I love all that sort of stuff.
That's an exclusive that you're going to take up judo now. You've dropped the.
Well, when I was injured a couple of years ago, when was it? 2000, I did a bit of jiu-jitsu for a couple of months. That was fun, just as part of sort of my recovery. Yeah,
Mate, it's a tough sport.
Oh, it's yeah. I mean, I've got my ass handed by people half my weight. It's unbelievable, the skills. Yeah, it's very humbling, isn't it?
Yeah, we do. There was a. It's like everything with sport. You're sort of evolving and trying to find the competitive edge, aren't you? So for a number of years there, we were doing a ton of jiu-jitsu, like just tons of it, mate. Just learning how to like grapple better and just be more effective in tackles and that. It was nuts.
And just pin him down a bit longer as well, isn't it, when on the floor?
Yeah, that's right. You just can't believe how strong some of these. Like you get owned by like a 70. Like I'm 105, 6 kilos. Maybe at the end of lockdown a bit heavier, but you get some of these little fellas that are 76 kilos that actually hand your ass to you. Mate, it's crazy.
I know. And you think you're just gonna I'm big, I'm strong, I'm just gonna grab him and hold him down, and you can't. Like the next thing, they're like your legs, one arm is like got you here, like then you on your ass. Yeah. And then the next thing you tap it out. I'm like, what?
Did you ever have to use some of your jiu-jitsu skills to pull people in line in the locker rooms?
No, but that's the sort of marking, because like it's quite. Did you do it with a gi or no gi?
We'd always just
nothing.
A training kit.
Yeah. So a couple of the moves where you just grab a hand and just give it a quick, just use your leverage. Certainly when marking, you just like grab a wrist, because the thing is with football, once you put a shirt, it sort of does that, doesn't it? It sort of has that, everyone can see it. But if you grab a hand, no one's the wiser, no one can see it. And if you've got the sort of grip, you can put them off massively. So yeah, once or twice.
I like it how they use the term, jiu-jitsu people use the term levers, don't they? Like use their arms as levers and stuff like that.
That's it.
Which is another way of saying I'm going to hurt you without it being obvious.
Yeah. You still do it now, or have you finished with it?
We do a bit of, we call it ruck room, like wrestling now. It's not so like it was a lot of, like we used to have jiu-jitsu like experts come in, but now it's sort of like evolved where it's like gone back around to like more about the impact and how you make an impact on a player when you initially go into the tackle, whereas before it was like the impact into like the wrestle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it sort of evolved like most things do in sports. Like I suppose sometimes a lot of the time teams are always just doing the best teams in the comp and figure out what they're doing and try to match up with them or get better than them at it. So I think the one thing that we've always tried to like, be that team that everyone wants to be and try to be on the front foot with how we evolve rather than copying others. So yeah, it's changed a bit. We still do a lot of wrestling and it's still a lot of impact work at training, which is, not getting any easier in my years, as you can imagine. But I've got a few questions here, and I've done them with everyone. Just regarding the 21-day lockdown period.
Yep.
If you could pick, right, 3 people to be in 21-day lockdown again with, if you had to start from day dot again, and they couldn't be your family or your pets, who would you choose and why?
I would choose 3 Victoria's Secret supermodels. Straight for any. that would go out for 3 weeks. Yes, there you go. But, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I picked the supermodels for 3 days.
Have you already thought of this or something?
No, it just came to my head quickly.
That's it. That's your answer. That's your answer.
That's my answer. Yeah.
That's your answer. No, mate, stick with it. I'm
I
happy with
can
it.
live without my kids for 20 more days. That'd be fine. That'd be all right.
And so throughout my career, I've collected a ton of memorabilia and that, and like basically wherever we won trophies, obviously, and champagne bottles around finals, and I've even started collecting stuff like movie stuff now, just to add to my movie room, and then like one day when I settle down back home, bit of a setup, a bit of a memorabilia room. Is there anything that you've collected along the way? From the sheds or from finals and that might be a little bit different or special to you?
No. I've got obviously got a couple of shirts, but by no means have I got anything collective. No, no. I just got a couple of kits that you get by the end of the season. You know, when the season's finished, you get whatever kit that you didn't give away, you get to take home. So I got probably one of each season. But that's it. Like, I don't look at it or anything. I haven't got a memorabilia room or anything like that. I'm quite boring like that. You wouldn't know that I played sports if you come to my house. It's all like, there's no big footballing stuff or anything like that. It's
just a lot of fond memories.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe I will do in the future where I get a bit more sad and that I don't play football anymore. But at the moment, yeah.
So you're doing your VSI Masters in Sports Directorship at the moment at University of Salford. What's the future look like for you, man? What are you keen on getting into?
I definitely like the backgrounds of sport. You know, the people behind the scenes. You know, that we talked about earlier. So organizing the club, the structure, financially. You know, how contracts work. You know, I was always sort of interested in that. So in the sort of nearer future is obviously get through the course and get your degree with it, and then I guess it's applying for jobs from there on, because a football is very sort of, you know, you get jobs because you know someone is you know, you're friend of someone or this and that. But what I like to do is I'd rather have actually studied it and I've got a background to it, you know, because then when I do apply, then they know I'm in business and I don't just want a job because I played for you or, you know, used to be my manager there. You know, it's sort of, that's what, you know, part of sport is. You know, you just give jobs to friends, you know, rather than people that are actually the best at what they can do. So that's the plan. Obviously, fight for the course, get it all done, and then get going with it in the real world.
Do you see yourself potentially practicing your degree here or abroad or just wherever opportunity comes up?
Yeah, opportunity. I'm pretty open to anything. You know, it's not something sort of, it has to be in the UK or it has to be in Germany. It could be, doesn't even have to be football. You know, it's just it's just the background stuff. You know, once you've been in sport, I think the setup is pretty similar to rugby, football, you know, cricket. So I'm not particularly set. I'm just football, but just sport in general. Like, and if it's in Germany, I got a good chance of doing it, then I'll just move to Germany. And if it's in Italy, then I try it in Italy. So it's sort of very open-minded when it comes to that.
One last question.
Yep.
If you had a message for those going through this tough and uncertain times, what would it be? A lot of people have just spoken about taking care of each other because obviously with the NHS system being absolutely overrun with patients at the minute, you know, spoke a lot about taking care of each other and just staying home, doing the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, just don't be an idiot, basically, isn't it? Don't be that, you know, don't be that guy that just wants to break the rules and have a login in a pub with 50 mates. Just don't be that idiot, you know, just, I agree we all need to get on with our lives, but, you know, when the government says, you know, it's the best thing to, you know, stay back, then just stay back. You know, it's 21 days, you know, it's not that big a problem for me or our family at the moment to stay home. I do understand people want to get out and need to stay active, but like I said, when you see the numbers of who and how you can, what's the word, infect, then it's just not worth taking a chance, is it? So don't be an idiot.
There you have it from Robert Huth. Thank you very much, mate, for joining us today on the lockdown. I really appreciate your time and hope
no problem.
You enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon. And
anything to get away from the kids, mate. Just for an hour. Can we do it again tomorrow?